As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Crystal Mitchell,
good
do you have my
afternoon, everyone.
business plan?
This is Gilbert Buchanan. You're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today we're going to have a great show. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is the Business Zone. We're going to have a great show here today. We've got two fantastic guests, Crystal.
That we do, and we're excited and looking forward. First of all, audience, we have redone our entry song. So you guys first of all, tell us who's singing. And then let us know how you like our new entry song.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let us know, and we've got a gift for you. If you can tell us who that singer is.
Yeah, if you can tell us who that singer is and what you feel and what you think about the song, we'd really like that, and we got a gift for you.
And you got two options, either Crystal or me. So it's one of us.
One of the two of us. So, Gilbert, it's been a little while since we've been in this studio.
It's been a while, Crystal.
Seems like anyway, before the holidays. Did you have a good holiday?
Oh, yes. I really needed that. I took some rest. I did nothing at all. And that was great. It felt good.
Yeah, it did. And you know what I like best about it? Because it was 3 days, or really 4 days, right? But our people, our clients and customers and all that sort of stuff, they were busy with their families. So there was nobody calling me.
Well, I have people calling me.
Oh, you did?
I have people calling me.
They know better
They
than
didn't
that.
take a break at all.
They were not calling me at all. I was pleased
that was beautiful,
with it.
Huh?
It was fantastic. I could take care of me. I could rest. I even started a blog. I even had time enough. So
that's
the Business Zone is going to be, I'll be launching a blog in a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So we got a nice little network that's gonna.
Yeah, we'll have a night. Well, we already have a network from all that you have, all that I have. So you'll be a contributor, and we'll put our articles and information about small business in that platform.
That's
and
good.
Gather more watchers and viewers for the Business Zone.
That's great.
That's the purpose of
and
it.
that leads me to the next point that we're doing. We're doing this phenomenal program right now, Crystal, where we're teaching small businesses how to become business ready and contract ready. And we hold our training at the Urban League.
Yes, we do. We're now we're partnered up with the Urban League to bring some programs for both of us, but basically for our community.
Yeah.
But for both of our customer clients, we're. Instead of just assuming that people are going to go to the SBA or go wherever they're going to go to get certified, we're taking the bull by the hand and we're going to physically walk them through the process. So we have been talking about that for several months, that we were going to select 10 businesses that we were going to help them further their business. So we actually have 9 it's called the Mastermind Group. It is the Minority Certification Mastermind Group. Everybody's excited. They're all ready to go. This is our fast track program. So the goal is to have them have one certification when they come out of the classroom. And we had our first class just before the holidays, just before Thanksgiving. And we will have our next class on it's going to be a series of classes, but on the 11th through the 13th.
Right, 11th through the
13th.
Right.
But the next class for the Mastermind Group is on the 12th, and we have a wonderful guest that's going to come in, Ms. Danetta Jackson from
State of
California, telling you, helping you understand how to do business and giving you a direct path to how to do business with the state of California.
And I think that's great because there is a lot of programs out there, a lot of training programs who said, oh, we're here to help you. We can teach you how to get certified, and you get certified and you get contracts. And then participants go to these classes and that's it.
Right.
See, our class is different. It's not like that. We take them step by step. We teach them the process. Not only are we teaching them how to become certified, but we're also teaching them how to develop their business infrastructure.
Right, exactly.
So that business will be in order, that all their key documents are in place. They're using a patent pending program, Small Biz Pro, to manage their documents and also identify procurement opportunities as well as conducting market research. It's amazing.
And everyone that I've spoken to, they are so excited. My client, Jennifer, she has a social media program. It's a management program of business. And I've been working with her for 6 years. And so I've been gearing her. She's a vet. And she's a woman-owned business. So I've been helping her grow her business so she would be ready for this. So she pretty much had everything. All we had to do was do a little bit of tweaking, but she is so excited.
That's good.
So yesterday she sent me over her handbook.
Oh,
so she was like, take a look at this.
Oh, wow.
It's probably some overkill, but I'm so excited.
That's amazing.
And that's what we want our businesses to be,
That's
right?
great.
Because if you can... why be in business and struggle?
That's
What's
what I'm
the
talking
point?
about.
You can get rid of all of this headache of owning your own business and go get a job,
Right.
and you can work from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night, go home, not even ever think about another
right.
thing until you get back the next day.
Yep.
But as a small business owner or an entrepreneur, you're thinking about your business 24/7, right?
That's right.
So, if you're going to be in business with the purpose of growing your business. So one, you're not that solopreneur. You're not that CEO of one yourself.
Right.
So that you can hire individuals, employees, which will benefit your community, and as well as help your own family create a secure base of income and be able to give you movement.
That is great.
And be wealthy.
And also, just for those of you who are just tuning in, want to let you know that this program, the components of this program is, it's a four-part class system, wherein the first class is capability statement, how to develop your own capability statement. The second one is building your business infrastructure. That means we provide you with our patent pending proprietary software called Small Biz Pro, wherein you'll be able to upload all your documents. You can access them from anywhere in the world using your smartphone, your tablet, or your laptop. And then we'll be doing certifications, teaching them how to become certified with the City of Los Angeles as well as the state of California. And the final class will be cash flow management. Right. As we know with small businesses, that's the Achilles heel. Many small businesses don't care about dealing with the financials. They don't care about managing the financials, nothing like that. So we have to take them in, and we have a lot of templates that we're using to help these small businesses learning how about their balance sheet, their profit and loss, statement of cash flow. So it's just phenomenal.
And they need that anyway, right? Oh, yeah. But most businesses, that's my specialty is helping businesses create financial structures for their business, and majority of them do not have that. Yeah. And then I get phone calls at the end of the year. I need to hurry up and get my taxes done because I need to do something. They're not just doing their taxes because they're supposed to.
Do
it's got somebody has asked them for it, and then they come with these big bags of receipts, and then they're rushing me. I've had clients come to me like 3 years back. They haven't filed taxes, and now they need them. Yeah. Their child is going to college, or they're trying to buy something, and now, Crystal, make this happen like overnight. No, this is supposed to be. Every month, you are supposed to be recording your income and your expenses and generating and analyzing how your business is doing. That's the only way you know how it's doing, right?
And that's what we're hoping to do with that.
Checking the temperature of it. Yep. So that's the point of it. And if you are, the model of, our tagline is that we are helping businesses get business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. But if you're business ready, you are going to be contract ready.
For sure.
And you're definitely going to be loan ready, right?
See, all of that is connected. And that's one of the things that we want them to understand, small businesses to understand, that once we get you to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready, you're all ready for this.
Right.
And I just want to point again to our tagline here on our banner. It says, the Business Zone is all about helping small businesses to bring business, entrepreneurship, and supplier diversity together in order to create success. That's what this program is all about.
Right, exactly. And yesterday I was having a conversation with someone. They called me, and I was actually a little surprised because I thought it's an assumption. It shouldn't have been an assumption because I know better. But they had all these. They were trying to sell ad space for a program that they have. They're actually going to launch a Christmas show, and in that conversation, you know how that happens. You start having conversation, and then you start finding out more stuff. And so they have already also written a book. But one of the things they told me was they had all this great content, all these great, I mean, just every asset that you could possibly think in order to run a successful business,
Right.
but they didn't have business knowledge.
Oh, my Lord.
So they had many opportunities that have been put on the table.
And they missed out on it.
Right. And also the opportunity that they did take advantage of, they didn't go the distance.
Because they were not ready.
They were not ready.
And that's
and
the
they
key.
Didn't have the business
See, the thing about this is, and this is what we try to share with small businesses, you can get an opportunity. You can get a contract.
Right.
You can get some business. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be sustained if you're not ready. If you're not ready, it's not going to be sustained. You will have it now. It may be good for a year or maybe two. But once we start finding out, or you start finding out that your system is not ready to sustain that, it's going to falter. It's going to
falter, right? You can, that's like someone that has an amazing product or service, or let's say a product, and someone like an Oprah comes and you sell it to them, and that you're excited about that, right?
Now the orders are coming in.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
That means because she liked it. Yeah. That means you're going to have so many orders, you're not going to know what to do with. And generally, that's what happens.
Yeah.
You can't fill the capacity,
right?
Because you didn't even know that you were going to get that, but you were excited that she liked your product.
Right.
But what does that really mean in the bigger picture? Right. And so that we have to look at businesses. And if you've been ready in the beginning, it wouldn't matter who you met.
That's right.
Because you would have had your distributors, or you would understand who you could go to help you be able to meet the orders that were coming in. Yeah. You had already identified your distributors.
So once we walk this first group through this pilot program, the rest of the folks on the fringes, they're going to see how we do this.
Right.
They're going to see that this is a very comprehensive approach. This is not like, regular consultant type thing where they come in, do what they need to do, and get out. We're going to be there for the long haul.
Right, exactly.
And these firms have to be successful. We're going to help them to identify contracts. We're going to hold their hands. If it means we got to help them to put the bid documents together, we'll do that too, because we want them to be successful.
And my reason for doing this is, our Recycling Black Dollars, we have a number of sponsors, Edison and Sempra, and I'm tired of hearing them tell me that when our businesses come to them for procurement opportunities, that they're not ready. That they don't have. Yeah. So, and if one goes in not ready, that hurts the rest of us here that are trying to do business. So we have to make a change. And from a Recycling Black Dollar standpoint, we got to make a bigger impact in what we're doing. We have to truly change how we're doing business, how our communities are being taken from us. And we're allowing it to happen because we have no mainstream. We're not staked into the community to keep that from happening. And so from that standpoint, that's my interest in doing it, is that I'm tired of, talking to people to even buy ad space on the BusinessZone, and I can't afford it. Well, how can you not afford to market your business?
Right.
I mean, resources, the RBD resource guide, they can't afford to buy an ad. Can't get no cheaper than what we're giving it to them. Can't afford to be members of GLAC or Recycling Black Dollars or the chambers because we can't afford the membership. Yeah. But you can't not afford it.
Well, that's why we select the types of businesses that we think are ready for us to work with.
Right.
And we just work along with them. The others who are straggling along, they'll figure it out. And they'll do what they need to do.
Well, we
and just for those of you who are just tuning in, you're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And the program today is sponsored by Recycling Black Dollars and Small Biz Pro.
And we are excited today. But before we get to our guests, what did you do this week?
Oh, man.
You did something special this Wednesday, didn't you?
Actually, I went to Sacramento, and I teamed up with an organization in Sacramento. It's called the African American Black Chamber Foundation.
Okay.
And they're doing similar to what we're doing, Crystal. They have a system for small businesses wherein they put them through, I think it's a 7-week program where they train them how to write business plans, how to develop their capacity. And I go in and I teach capability statement for them. And then at the end, we have a pitch. So we have them prepare their pitch, practice their pitch so they can pitch to investors after this.
Oh, wow.
And we had some phenomenal businesses.
Okay.
Yes, it was just amazing. And on the panel, we had investors, we had board members and all the members there as well. And this lady, her name is Dr. Shinshuri. She'll be coming to Los Angeles real soon. Now, she has this program, which is just so amazing. This program helps minorities, African Americans and Latinos, obtain scholarships to go to college.
Oh.
And it's free.
Okay, so how does she do that?
Well, she gets sponsorships. She got grants from a lot of different organizations. Because as you know, one of the problems that we have as minorities, when we go to school, we go to college, and we come out, what do we have?
Yeah, debt.
Big student loan, right?
Are in debt, right?
So then we started out with a problem before we actually enter into the work field or into the entrepreneurial field. So we have that big burden on us that we don't really know what to do. So she is trying to avoid that. So what she wants to do is to infiltrate the LA market. She wants to talk to us to see what we can do so we can partner with different organization chambers, the Urban League, maybe GLAC we can do some work with as well. But what we're going to do is set up these institutions here so that these African Americans can get the benefit, and also Latinos get the benefit from that, so they can go through a 2-year school if they want, or a 4-year school, not having to pay anything.
Wow, that would be absolutely
fantastic.
That is amazing. Because that is such a burden for young people. In fact, Susie Orsman recommends not sending your child to a 4-year or 5-year college. That's really what it turns out to be.
Yeah.
And, first, because a lot of kids go to school that first 2 years and they don't even really know what they want to do. So she recommends them go to a community college first, because that's far less.
So they can achieve that short-term goal,
right? And finish all those the required subjects, which is math and English and history and all that sort of stuff. Do that in community college. And then once they're sure about what they want to do, then they go to get their other 2 years at a university, because they're not $250,000 in debt when they come out of school.
That's exactly.
And if they go for their master's, their graduate program, then you add on more to that, and that could be quite costly.
And a lot of people are they're structuring this in such a way. They're saying, well, if we took that $250,000 for a student loan and we invested that in a business, chances are we may have been a little bit more successful than if we've gone through a 4-year college, which makes some sense to some extent. I mean, the college is good because you need to get that foundation, that educational foundation, working with folks, seeing how you work in teams and all of that. But at the same time, spending $250,000 going through a 4-year college. That could be a
great investment for a business.
That's what I'm talking about.
In fact, that's right on in my wheelhouse with teaching children how to become entrepreneurs. Yeah. So just assume, I think it's both. I think you do need to work in a corporation, because exactly for the reason, when I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur, but I also knew after school I needed to see how a corporation actually ran a business. So I've worked in various companies. I've worked in the internet company, .coms when it first started, and you could see they got the money. And this is what you just said earlier. You can have the money. Somebody can lay all the money you want in your lap to start a business. But if you don't know how to do the foundation, if you know how to construct a foundation, it doesn't matter how much. So I literally saw them burn through $12 million in 8 months. because they didn't know what they were doing with the money, and it was just too much money, right? Too much money to really do that. But take a child and teach them how to be an entrepreneur, and they go through college running a small business on whatever that budget is, and they're really putting their reserves back in, right? And then they go to a company that is kind of in the area that they want to start this business is in. Then they look how much better prepared they are.
Exactly.
So I think that's a better move. So it's both college and as well as entrepreneurship.
I think the concept should be that we will get our children going to school, so you learn that educational piece, working together with groups and understanding philosophies and concepts. Then when they graduate, they work within an organization to learn how corporations are run. So then they can use that expertise and knowledge to run their own business.
Right.
That's really what the steps should be.
The best of all worlds, right?
That's what it should be.
So that's fantastic. But that was great that you did that.
Oh, yeah. It was just amazing. And I'm going back again this coming week.
Okay, cool.
So not only am I going to teach some workshops for the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce, because I'm the procurement chairperson for that organization. But I'm going to teach a workshop on Tuesday for the Sacramento Hispanic Chamber. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to do the pitch again. I'm going to, be one of the panelists for the second leg of that. So it's just amazing. And I can't wait for that program to be launched because it's got so many great qualities to it. They put together a one-page business plan, which is amazing. I love it. And on the business plan, a business plan is divided into 7 different categories, right? You got your executive summary, you got the business, the description of the business, you got the marketing plan, you got the sales plan, you got the management, and then you've got the financial piece. They have that on there. And in conjunction, they have the mission and the vision, and they also have the problem and the solution.
The solution to it, yeah.
I just love the way they did that.
They pitched
that's something I do in our business plans, but not on a one-pager. They just summarize all of that on a one-pager.
Yeah, we do a one-pager for the kids.
Yes.
Because that's what the kids actually present at the end of the year. We have to get you in July. In fact, this year we're going to do instead of a 10-day class, it's going to be a 3-week class.
Oh, really?
And we're going to do it twice.
I'd love to be a part of that.
So we'd love to have you as a consultant and then possibly a judge at the end. So
I would love to.
It's an amazing thing to watch children create businesses out of nothing.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You created some great entrepreneurs last year that were here on the program. They were 13, 14 years old?
One was 14. The one that won, Hannah, who had the Tower Gardens, was 14.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and then the other young lady, I think, was... where was she? Well, she wasn't here, but I think she was 13.
See, that's the kind of thing I want us to foster. I want us to do that. I'll be willing to go out and sponsor and support all of those types of things for small business. Because when you and I were growing up, we didn't get that kind of support from our parents and family. You see what I'm saying? They never teach us how to be entrepreneurs.
Well,
they
now
send
my
us to
family
school.
did, because my whole entire family are entrepreneurs.
Oh, well, in your case, you're the exception to the rule.
Yeah, I'm an exception. Everybody in my family was. My mother had me teaching. She taught me how to sew when I was 7 years old.
Wow.
Because that's what she did. That's what she did.
Yeah.
So no summer. And we would be screaming and hollering and wanting to go outside.
Your friends are out there playing?
Everybody playing. She's like, no, first 4 hours of every day is mine.
Yeah.
And so we were learning how to sew. So by the time I got to high school and home ec, I already was making my own outfits and everything.
Wow.
But that was my grandmother was an entrepreneur. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. All my aunts. So it was all part. But that was them knowing. That wasn't formal education. Right. But I did know by the time I went to college that eventually that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to own a nursery school when I went to college. That was the whole purpose. I was child development. And but then I realized that I'd have to be there from 6 in the morning to 6 o'clock at night. It's like, oh, heck no. We're going to have to find another way to do the children thing. We ain't going to be nowhere.
See, with the Asian culture, that's how they teach their kids. They teach them from small how to become entrepreneurs. They know what directions they want to go in.
Oh yeah,
and they teach and coach them.
They're teaching their kids to take over their business.
Yeah,
I have a good friend. She has a company called National Fringe Benefits, and she and her husband today are in Brazil, which their business has provided for them to travel now, right? And 2 weeks ago they were in Paris, and I mean they always got these wonderful. We're also jealous of them, but they are passing their business down to their daughter, and so when they're gone, she's running the business and she's carrying on the legacy of their business.
Right,
which is amazing. So we're going to actually, they're going to be part of the next group that we do in the certification.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have them on the show so that they can talk about
what they do. All right, that sounds great, which makes a great segue, right?
Yeah, well, before we go to commercial, because we're going to have these two great guests and we're probably going to get caught up in conversation.
Yeah.
So, Duran, I sent a flyer over, and so we want to talk about the class that we have
coming up
December 12th.
Yeah.
And then we want to talk about the 3 classes that we're doing with the Urban League.
Excellent.
So this is we are going to have, as I said earlier, Danetta Jackson from the state of California.
Department of General Services.
General Services, to come out and talk to us and talk to you on how to do business with them. The class is going to be on December, which is Wednesday.
It's a Tuesday.
Tuesday, December 12th from 4 to 6, and it's at 4401 Crenshaw Boulevard, which is the Los Angeles Urban League's new location. And you need to register. You will go look on Facebook, and it is everywhere. I've just blasted it everywhere. And
That's
then
great.
As well as the Urban League is blasting it. So sign up today. Then the next classes that we have going on, we're doing something different. We have decided when we met with the Urban League to address industries that we as Black people already support and take those industries to the next level. So one of those industries is the beauty industry. The beauty industry, gross revenues of about $15 billion. That's just hair weaves. That's not even the rest of it. That's $15 billion, right? So we want to help develop business owners to own beauty supply stores. And so Steve Ellis is going to be teaching a class on December 4th, specifically for hairdressers and barbers and anyone in the beauty industry, any professionals. And then on December 11th, he's going to be increasing your revenues with products and how to manage your money. And then Gilbert and I, and that is from 2 to 4, and those are on Mondays. So both of those dates are Mondays, which is the date that the hair beauty industry professionals are free. And then we will be doing business workshops on the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th. We got a super busy week.
Yeah.
And that will be from 4 to 6 p.m. And they're going to be, the certification is on Tuesday. You're going to do business readiness?
Yeah, business readiness. So we'll teach a small business what they need to do, what compliance documents they need to have in place.
Okay, and then we are going to do it's year end. Is that time of the year to get your taxes together? So I'm going to be doing year end tax prep. So register for them. Go on our Facebook, on my Facebook, which is Crystal Mitchell. You can go on Recycling Black Dollars Facebook and find it there. You can go to my LinkedIn. It's there. And you can go to the Business Zone. So you cannot tell me you cannot find it, because I won't believe you at all, because I've been working really hard to make sure that you can find it. So register today. And those classes are free. So that's the best kind of price there is.
Exactly. And just so you know, with the workshop on the 12th with the Department of General Services, not only are we going to teach you how to identify and access contracts, but we're hoping that you'll be able to identify some contracts that you may want to apply for before the end of the year and get yourself in that ball game, so you can at least have something being awarded to you, hopefully come January. So that's a plan right there.
All righty. So now we can segue into a commercial.
Yes. So again, you've been watching the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break so we can come back to our special guest in the studio.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186. Meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186. Meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research.
So we're back on the air. This is Gilbert Buchanan along with
Crystal Mitchell.
And we're on the Business Zone. And today we've got a fantastic guest here in our studio. Who do we have, Crystal?
We have the current president of the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce, Miss Angela Gibson Shaw.
All right.
And I'm very honored that she agreed to be on the show. We're thrilled to death. There are many of us out here that we're in the trenches doing our thing. And so GLAC is one of those organizations, Recycling Black Dollars, and you have Vermont Slauson and the Black Business or BBA, Black Business Association. It's work. It's definitely work corralling our people. Yeah. So I am very thankful that you agreed to be on the show. Thank you. And now Miss Angela, she comes with a vast array of experience with small business outreach and community engagement. She recently retired from AT&T, and she did what did you do there? Governmental and philanthropy affairs in the Los Angeles area while managing corporate relationships with the African American community. And then after she retired, she served briefly as the principal telecom consultant for Senator Steve Bradford. She is past chair in Compton and Linwood and Culver City and Carson's Chamber of Commerce. And she's a resident of Inglewood, which is a really new growth spot in our community. We want to make sure we stay present. Yes. And she now sits on the board, serves on the board of the Inglewood Airport Chamber of Commerce. So welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
Well, one thing that you probably didn't see on the paperwork there is that Miss Angela Gibson is also a new member of the board of a new commissioner with the County of Los Angeles.
Yes.
So she'll be working with small businesses.
Right. Yes.
Welcome to the Business Zone.
Thank you. Wow. I know, right? Thank you. Come to join my tribe.
Yeah, come join your tribe because we need you. Hey, Rhonda, and good to see you. Rhonda saying hello, Gilbert, and hello, Angela.
Hey, Rhonda.
Rhonda Santaford was she worked with the Urban League. She retired. Now she's with Celebrate Life, and now she's consulting back with the Urban League.
Small world.
We all come back around full circle, especially when you care about our people. So, Angela, we are so happy to have you. Our topic today is about our small businesses and how we can elevate them and how we can help them grow. And Rhonda's sending much love.
Yeah. Okay.
much love. So, and you've set in so many different capacities where you've interacted with our small businesses. Mm-hmm. So from that perspective, what has been some of our challenges and where do we go from here in order to make changes and to take our businesses to that next level? We don't have to get into
Right. I think the premise really is the things that you guys talk about on your radio show is being ready. Yes. Being ready financially, being ready psychologically, being ready emotionally, and just being ready for when that contract comes, as you say, to keep it, to be able to sustain it.
Right.
It really is a hustle, but I love the hustle of being an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah.
But it definitely is a hustle.
That's right. It takes special DNA to make this thing happen.
It sure does. And I love the passion that I see in the businesses that come into GLAC.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're ready to take that next step. They're ready to go to the next level. They realize now that they need support and assistance, and they want to grow their business.
Now, for some of the viewers who are viewing this show and listening to the show right now who've never heard of GLAC before, Can you tell them exactly what GLAC is?
Sure. So GLAC is the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce. And it was created in 1999 by our chairman, Gene Hale, and some other businessmen that were wanting to put together a group of folk, African American businesses, that would be able to advocate to compete for Los Angeles city contracts.
Excellent.
And so from that, it's really, really grown to becoming regional, national. Our chairman, Gene Hale, was appointed by then Barack Obama and sat on his Small Business Import-Export Council. He's also an appointee of the mayor and the governor. And just recently, both he and I were, well, Gene's been on that commission for a while, but recently I was appointed to the Small Business Commission by Supervisor LA County Mark Ridley Thomas.
Oh, that's great. Mm-hmm. That's phenomenal.
Yes, and so that really gives us an opportunity to bring to the table of GLAC all the opportunities at the local, state, national, federal level of all of the opportunities. And so what we're doing is just really collecting those opportunities, the things that are going on right now, especially right now, unprecedented opportunities in our community. LAX, the Los Angeles World Airport, there's a multi-billion-dollar renovation going on.
Yeah.
And so that's right in the backyard of Inglewood, which is mostly a known black town, city, I guess, if you will.
And Metro.
And then, of course, Metro coming through, the Metro LAX line. And then, of course, I got a whole list here I want to show. Because I think it really helps, when you say you need to get ready for business.
Yeah.
I'm like, what business?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So the Inglewood Stadium, of course, which is about a $2 billion build. The Crenshaw Mall just received permission to begin to redevelop, and it's going to be a $700 million redevelopment. And they're going to be calling this the Silicon South. You got Silicon Valley, Silicon Beach. So Crenshaw is going to be known as Silicon South.
I'm loving that already.
I know, right? So we got to get ready. George Lucas just announced his museum that's going to be built in the Exposition Park area.
Really?
And so GLAC has met with those folks, and actually on December 5th, they're having a big small business outreach. So those that want to participate in the build of this George Lucas Museum, his wife, Sister Melody Hobson, is going to be running it. Right. And so she's bringing the best team in to make sure that this museum is all that it can be to the community and that there is a high level of participation from businesses of color.
That's great.
And of course, GLAC sits at the table to make sure that African-American businesses are included, women-owned, veteran businesses are included at a high level. Of course, we want to see goals. It's not more good faith effort, and we're going to try to get y'all some. We want to see
Actually, when I work with LA Community College District, they talk about that. We call it good fake effort. It's not good fake. It's good fake. Because they're really faking it. They're really not trying to provide opportunities for small businesses. They're just saying, okay, we have reached out to 150 small businesses, but none of them was ready. So therefore, we can't provide them any opportunities. We don't want that anymore. We want to see legitimate opportunities. And one of the things that I really want to put out there, and I want all my audience to know, that these propositions that we're voting on, that they pop up every election cycle and we vote on it, we're voting to tax ourselves. And part of that is that once we vote to tax ourselves, then they're going to provide opportunities in those projects that you just talked about.
That's right. Their projects Measure M, that's Metro. They're going to be building stuff from now until next 40 years. Measure H and HH that address homeless.
Yes.
They're going to be, so there are projects and services that are needed to wrap around that stakeholder. And then also the governor's SB1, the whole transportation funding.
Yes.
And Caltrans and that 12-cent gas tax. That all is for monies to improve projects and road way. Right. And so a lot of these projects now, GLAC is wanting to sit down at the table with each of these folks. We're meeting with them. Just got through meeting with the NBA because in February 2018, the NBA All-Star Games will be held in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And so if you go to their website, I don't have it right at my fingertips, but there's a place there you can go and register as a business, and they're looking for minority businesses.
Really?
There are many, many, many opportunities for catering and IT and photo, all kinds of services, because it's a whole
all of that
week.
stuff.
It's a whole week of activities around the All-Star Games. We're even looking at the 2028 Olympics.
That's what we're talking
want to be
about.
dialed in there, because another thing that Gene really talks about is you've got to be there before the deal is done.
That's right.
By the time they announce that we want to share with you guys what the opportunities are, it's really a wrap. And so what you're seeing now is just all for show. But what you want to do is start getting ahead of it. LAUSD. We recently were invited to sit in on the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School Districts. They might be a little ways away, but still, there are contracts and opportunities that organizations such as ours are bringing to our community to tell you, hey, let's go get paid. The Port of LA, the Port of Long Beach. And the other unique thing is that many of these projects are now designed, build, operate, and maintain. So through the life, it's not just we're going to go here and hammer in a nail or whatever, but you can sit down at the architect level to help design it. I know a brother that has a business, a lucrative business with Metro in the whole photocopy, and there's a way that he photocopies those plans.
The plans and specs.
The plans and specs. So that's in the design of it. And then, of course, the build in it. We're really, really working also with the unions, too, jobs, and, of course, in the build, the subcontractors is just crazy.
And with that comes the local hire programs where they have to hire 30% of the people in the community.
Right. And you know who's going to hire them? The people that get some of the smaller contracts.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because that's one of the beauties of a black business is how it raises up the entire community because that's who's going to hire in the community when these jobs come through.
That's where we're doing the recycling of the black dollars.
Right. Exactly. That's what it is.
Got to circulate.
The whole cannabis industry. That's going to be a multi-billion. Where do we plug in? Because when we last plugged in, we got in trouble. So we want to plug in on an official way. And yes, and get paid for that. Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine just announced their groundbreaking ceremony of an academy again that they're going to build at USC over at Exposition Park. And it's just lots and lots and lots of we're in the way of lots of opportunities. So what we're trying to do is put all this information together, meet with these folks to advocate for real participation at the design, the build. You can either help operate it and you can help maintain it too. Those are lucrative contracts too, those janitorial contracts. So especially at those stadiums that are being built. So we sit down with these folks and advocate for pieces of the pie to the various, and then bring that information back to our membership and then help them get ready. So now there's all this money out here, right? And so you're in a business and you got something, a service that you want to provide, but we need you to be ready now. So now we get you ready to go after these.
Got to get them ready.
Yes, right.
And that's some of why we're doing what we're doing. So we're not just sending you to the SBA to fill out an application, and then you don't know what to do with it, because that's what happens to a lot of our businesses, right?
Correct.
They just fill it out and they have the certification.
Right.
But they don't know how to they don't know how to bid, they don't know who's out there.
That's true.
And so that's why Gilbert and I said, let's sit down and let's make this happen. Let's do a hands-on and walk them through the process, bring people in so that you can have that conversation so that they see it's real. Because what's interesting is most of our small businesses think that certification or contract business is just for the construction industry.
Right. No, not at all. Not at all. For instance, just being appointed recently to the LA Commission, one thing they say, they buy everything from paper clips to airplanes. And so if you sell it, they probably buy it. But you're right. You want to get certified. But they even talk about just at least get registered.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, we can do certification later. And if you've got your hustle right, they'll make sure you get certified. But they want you to register. They want you to register. And so that's the kind of workshops that we have. We work with you guys all the time on workshops to get certified.
Get ready.
Teaming, joint ventures, business plans, working on capability statements. Gilbert, we'd have you down there do a couple of those. Southern California Edison is a great supporter of leadership and capability workshops. And so we cover a number of subjects to help small businesses get ready. There is no other time like now to be a part of this pie with those projects in our community. Normally stuff is being built out in Hollywood and Santa Clarita and all over the place, but in our backyards in Exposition Park, on Crenshaw, on the other side of Inglewood, we have to participate. So we do all kinds of stuff. Networking. Our three main missions at GLAC is education through our workshops and our seminars, networking through our different mixers and opportunities that we have, and then advocacy.
That's great.
Gene and I are always at City Hall, writing City Council, going down to the county to advocate on behalf of opportunities. And again, like you said, not the good fake effort, but we want to see in writing. For instance, while they were building, as they were hammering out the contract for the Inglewood Stadium the mayor of Inglewood is adamant that there was a high number. I think it's like 25 or 30% of people that build that stadium and that work in that stadium must be of color, and they probably better be coming from around here somewhere.
That's what I'm talking about.
And so those prime contractors, all those, the big guys, the Walshays, then they have to subcontract with all of us because they don't know.
That's right.
They don't have access. They can't get to those people, so they subcontract with regular folks that can employ the neighborhood and they can get some of those jobs done. So that's where we do a lot of work in our advocacy, always advocating on behalf of.
See, that brings me to my next point, because many of the primes that bid on these projects and they get awarded those projects, they're not from here. They're from out of state. They're from somewhere else. Now, they don't really know the landscape. So how are they going to hire a qualified or a certified business locally? They don't know that. I mean, they may get a list,
right,
but then they don't have a relationship with those small businesses. And that's why with us getting them ready, filtering them through GLAC, filtering them through the Urban League or other chambers of commerce and other entities is really what we need to do.
And that also made for opportunities for consultants.
There you go.
They don't come from they don't come from the state. They don't even come from the country.
That's what I'm talking about.
In bidding and getting this LAX to rebuild the LAX. They don't even come from the country. And so they come and they need to know who's who at the zoo.
Yeah.
And so they hire consultants, me, you,
exactly.
and you. Can you help me find some folks that can do this, and that?
Exactly.
And we'll pay you through the life of this project. So there's work from A to Z.
And that's why we really need to get our guys ready.
Yeah.
Guys and ladies ready to do this work.
Right. And that's one of the reasons that the inspiration for the Business Zone was to have this conversation.
Absolutely.
Because we'll get together and we'll have this conversation. Right. And if we happen to come, those happen to come to a meeting at RBD or GLAC or anywhere else, and you may hear it. But then what about everybody else in Los Angeles that can't come to a meeting or they're working too hard and can't. And most of our small businesses can't leave their businesses because they don't have anyone to fill in for them, right? So this is the purpose of the Business Zone, is so we can have this conversation to make sure you're on the front side.
Right.
Before they start breaking ground.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and so I know that you've had some of our partners here. We partner with, like you said, the BBA, Recycling Black Dollars Business Resource Group. Vermont Slauson, Joe Roseanne, Gilbert Buchanan, the Business Zone, the Crenshaw Chamber, the SBA, all the supplier diversity people. There are lots of folks of color that work at corporations. And so they have an inside scoop too.
Oh, yes.
So that's all about that networking. That's the networking piece that you do at these different organizations. Can't forget NABO, the women's organizations.
Yes.
And then there are veterans organizations too. So there's an association. There's so many benefits with plugging into an organization such as GLAC.
Yes.
So that you can be in like company, that we can band together and have a bigger voice to go advocate for our piece of the pie for this economic development. That's what it's all about.
Excellent.
What's going on right now.
Excellent. Now go ahead, Crystal.
You have a scholarship program as well through
We do.
Through GLAC, right?
We do. GLAC also has its own nonprofit 501c3. It's called the GLAC Education Fund and Foundation. And what we do is every year we go out to the 4 inner city high schools, what is it, Crenshaw, Washington Prep, Dorsey, and another one. I can't think of it right now. Mm-hmm. And through a competitive application process, we choose 2 students, high school seniors from each of those 4 high schools that are on their way to college, and we give them scholarships.
I like that.
And those that have kind of a business slant, that's our focus too.
That's great.
We actually also have a business evolution program where we're mentoring one person at a time at GLAC through a competitive process.
Right.
We pick one of our small members and mentor them and match them up with an intensive 12-month kind of mentorship program with one of our corporate members. We've had Honda, we've had IBM, we've had Bank of America, we've had Wells Fargo. And so what they do is take one of our small businesses, and for 12 months, let's take a look at your books. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at your business plan. Let's take a look at your branding, your business, your website. Let me show you how we do it here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so just kind of, it's almost like a finishing school, I guess, if you will.
I like that.
And then help them with network, with access. Yeah. Here's some folks, some contacts that may be helpful that could maybe use your services. Yeah. And so that, again, is a great program that we have, too. That's developing, remaking, upgrading one business at a time.
That's fantastic.
Excellent.
That's
now, for those of you who are just tuning in right now, you're watching and you're listening to the Business Zone with
Krista
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. This program is sponsored by Recycling Black Dollars and Small Biz Pro. And speaking about recycling black dollars, Crystal, do you want to tell our audience how many times the black dollar gets circulated in the community before it disappears?
6 hours.
6 hours. 6 hours. That's not good.
Whereas
that is not good.
In other communities, it rotates around 17 times in the Asian community. I believe it's 14 times in the Hispanic community. And this is in a day. So our dollar, I like to equate that to so people can really understand what $6 hours mean, right?
Yeah.
So you go to your job, you get paid in the morning at 10, right? And then you get to go to the bank before 4, and you put it in the bank, a white bank, right? And then you go to the supermarket, Ralph's, which is not owned by a black person. That's it, it's gone.
That's what I'm talking about. So I just want small businesses to think about these things, because in other ethnicities and other communities, the dollars are staying, it's being circulated much, much longer than ours. So I want you to think about that. The next time that you think about supporting a business or providing a resource or a service, think about those things. It's very critical to the sustainability of our minority businesses.
And I like to, the way I handle recycling my dollars, because there are certain things in our community that's not available in our community. But if I'm going to go spend $100 at Macy's, then I'm going to find a small business provider that I can spend match that at another organization. Recycling black dollars, and I bank at Broadway Federal, which at one point was completely a black bank, and they've moved on, and it's now a publicly traded bank. There are others that are part of RBD that bank at One United Bank. So my money is in a black bank. I actually make my money from people that look like me, and then it goes back into the bank, and then I make sure that there's somewhere I spend my dollars, it goes back to people that look like me.
Now, we're not just talking about this just to talk about it because we want to beat down on any particular entity, but I just want you small businesses to think about this. As a small business owner, you know you got to thrive, and the only way you can thrive is using money. How do you get money? Well, you need a line of credit or you need a loan. How do you get that loan or line of credit? Well, you got to go to somewhere. You got to go to a bank. What are they going to tell you? Well, you don't have a history with us. We're not familiar with you. What are your ratios? How long have you been in business? Are you certified? Who have you done business with? So these are all the questions that they're asking. So that's part of the reason why we do this business readiness, contract readiness, and bank readiness program to get you there. You know, we understand what ratios they're looking at, so we teach you what those ratios are so you can get ready. So these are some of the things that we really, really got to disseminate.
And that same information, you know, at their meeting, at GLAC's meeting, at Recycle Black Dollars, we bring those bankers to our meetings to have these conversations with you. One, so you can now see them close up in front and shake their hand and hopefully go back and sit down and have a conversation. Some of the things I find is very interesting when I talk to my clients and they're saying, Krista, where can I find money? Because you get that, get that. Where do I find money? Yeah. Okay. So my first question is, let's look at kind of business you have and what your collateral is before I even give you a referral. Right. And then I usually say, so have you gone to your bank? And they're like, my bank? Yeah, the place where you're putting all of your dollars. Yeah. Do you have a relationship with the bank that you have your money in? And they're like, oh, no, I just go up to the teller and do. No, you should have a representative. When I go to Broadway Federal, I don't care, any of the 3 branches. Hi, Christo. Hi, how you doing? The minute I hit the door, all 3 branches know me.
And that's exactly how it should be. I have gone into banks before, and, you know, I won't say their name. I'll just say the big 3. You'll know who they are, okay? I've walked into those banks, and I'm trying to establish a relationship with the banker there. And then I go back next month, that person's totally gone. It's a different person. So now I got to start a new relationship. And it just keeps happening like that every month. I said, you know what? I get tired of it. So then I went to another bank, which was U.S. Bank. Those guys are relationship banks. Yeah. Those guys, they keep their employees there forever. They don't get rid of them every other month. who don't understand your business. They don't understand where you're coming from, your philosophy. So that's what I want small businesses out there to do. Establish a relationship with a bank. When you walk in a bank, if they don't know your first name, get your money and get out of it.
And you know what, you guys, at GLAC, not only did we have seminars and workshops with all of our banking friends, they're all part of the membership, but we also had a couple of workshops this year that talked about angel investors.
Yeah.
UCLA hosted one, and there were a number of folks that came and talked about other ways to get money, angel investors, and how to pick them, the GoFundMe kinds of projects, especially that look to startups. They want to give money to especially those that are technical in nature. And then most recently, we also had a workshop that talked about alternatives to regular kinds of banks. In our recent workshop on November 1st, you were there. We had a brother that is with an alternative lending company called Lendistry.
Oh, yes.
And he had a really interesting take on he gets money from investors and looks for a certain kind of business to invest it in, but he says that he doesn't look at your FICO score and your bank records and your tax returns. He says he looks at your social media page.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because if you don't have no friends, you don't have no customers.
That's what I'm talking
because
about.
When he gives you some money, he wants to know how you're going to pay it back, and so he needs to see how you socially
your
interact
network.
At what level, your social worth, and that way he knows that he's got a better chance of making some real interesting alternatives to traditional banking.
And actually, that's interesting you said that, because I was reading an article from Experian, and they are collecting data, and they were saying alternative data, and that's where they're going is to your social media outlets to see, what are you selling on your pages? Are you interacting with everyone on your pages? Or are you just this obscure business that have no connection to anybody? Because there are so many businesses in our community that are afraid to have a Facebook page or a LinkedIn page. They think it's an invasion of privacy, and no matter how you try to explain it, they're like, oh, no, they'll know everything about me. No, it's a business page. It's not about, we don't want to know where you walking your dog. We don't care about that. We don't care about your babies or your grandbabies. You need to have a page that, you need to have a carbon footprint on the internet.
And if you're in business, you need to keep it clean.
You need to keep it clean.
I went to a meeting the other day to meet with some folks who they wanted to talk about partnering with GLAC, and I went to introduce myself, and she said, oh, yeah, I know, I Googled you. I mean, this is like some older, other folks. And okay, that's how, you can give me your resume, but I already looked you up.
Right, and that's really what's happening. Well, actually, employers do that. I tell my students all the time, make sure if you're looking for a job, you better clean up your Facebook pages, make them private. If there's some other stuff on there that is your alter ego, close that, shut that one down, make it super private, only have your friends have access to it, and then you have a personal, public page that then talks about you and positive stuff.
Right, and work those LinkedIn pages. You have to really work your social media pages. Work all of it and really be mindful of the kinds of things that you put out into the universe. That because lots of people are looking to provide, a blessing to you, but and so you want to have that, I'm ready.
And then that's the first place they're going to go. I do that. I mean, if I need to know, I meet somebody, I need to know, who you are before I do business.
I'm looking for somebody to do my taxes, or I'm looking for something, or this or that, or whatever you do. You start surfing, social media.
Yeah, you start, and then you ask for referrals from friends and stuff. Leo Kabline said hello, Angela. He says, hey.
Absolutely.
Our special guest in the studio today is Miss Angela Gibson, President. Shaw.
I just got married. And so
Angela Gibson Shaw.
New to that new last name. But we both Shaw.
We just want to let you know, and she's a president of GLAC, which is a Greater African American Chamber of Commerce. And they've got some great opportunities there. If you've never heard of the chamber before, I'd like for you guys to check out that chamber. Go check it out. It's an opportunity for you to access resources. And my co-host on the show is
Krista.
And I'm Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we'll bring up our next guest. So take a break.
We're going to give her a few more minutes because she has an event coming.
Yeah, let me tell you the website.
Okay. Yeah, when we come back from break.
Okay.
We'll do that when we come back from break.
Yeah, because you got a Christmas event coming up.
Take a break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operations solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic, and our phenomenal guest, Angela Gibson Shaw. She's been sharing some great resources with us, and this is just phenomenal. So, Crystal, you had a question for Angela.
Yeah,
right?
Angela, GLAC has a number of events coming up, holiday event, and then we want her to give us her information on how to reach out, how to attend a GLAC event and become a member of GLAC. Because as you can see, there's so much, there's just a wealth of information and resources there. And she's one of our community partners, and we
thank you. And access to you guys is also a benefit of membership with GLAC.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. So we're actually ending our year now, and we're going to end it with a big holiday mixer, and that's going to take place on Wednesday, December 13th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Sheraton Gateway Hotel, Los Angeles. That's located at 6101 West Century Boulevard, and the entry is only a $20 unwrapped toy valued at $20.
That's great.
We're going to collect the toys, and then we're going to divide them between the Union Rescue Mission and the Parents of Watts. And I know lots of folks here know your Sweet Alice, who runs that program. So Union Rescue Mission doing great work down there. Kitty Davis Walker, our good friend, is down there doing public relations for them, and so serving the homeless and the families and children, men and women. So we're going to help make their holidays more bright, as well as Sweet Alice got a whole bunch of folks waiting on her to bring back goodies. So, and we'll have a good time. We've got good food, good fun, good company for a good cause. So we want to invite all of your folks listening to come on down and join us. Just bring a $20 unwrapped toy and get in on the fun. And
Okay, so we'll definitely be there.
So the 13th, we got our class, and then
we
after
have to
that,
leave straight for the class.
Yeah, okay.
And go
Let's do
straight
that.
on
around the
over.
corner.
Yeah, right around the corner.
So you have another event there.
So
the
yeah, so
25th?
also just our big 25th anniversary gala is coming up, and that's our big dinner, our big black tie dinner, and that's where our big sponsors come and donate, and that allows us to do all the things that we do throughout the year. Last year, our keynote speaker was Steve Ballmer, owner of the Clippers.
Very
We've had
good.
Magic as keynote speaker, and lots of folks from the Obama administration during that time.
That's great.
So lots of movers and shakers and the latest influencers, and that takes place March 30th of
March
2018.
30th. I'll put it on my calendar.
Put it on your calendar.
Yep.
If you want to know more about all of the things that GLAC does, we invite you to join us on our website, and that's www.glac.org.
Okay.
Let me spell GLAC for you.
Yes.
That's GLAAACC, GLAAACC.org.
I love that.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun.
Oh,
So
this
we
is
will put up
wonderful.
if you send that electronic
I will.
picture of both your event and the anniversary dinner coming up. I will put
Yes.
it under the show,
Yes.
and then you will get a copy of the show.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you
Definitely.
again,
Not a
Gilbert, for
problem.
pinch hitting at the
Anytime.
November 1st conference.
I
Remember?
really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It was
Gilbert
great.
wasn't on program, but when one of our speakers was late, we tapped him, and before I knew it, he was up on
Oh, yeah,
stage.
it doesn't take much.
See,
He's
that's all.
always
That's all.
ready, man.
That's
He's
all
always
about being ready. As an entrepreneur,
That's that entrepreneur.
gotta be ready.
So wait a minute, I got something in my. A lot of times
Yeah.
Gilbert and I will be on the show, and if our guest doesn't show up, and one time Gilbert didn't show up, my sister's like, "Oh my God, you're gonna have to do the show by yourself, 2 whole hours of talking. How you gonna do that?" I said, "Girl, I teach 4-hour classes. I'm gonna just have a class today." In fact, the other day, and this is an announcement we haven't made, and we want everyone to know, Gilbert and I are now doing a once a month show on West Hollywood Public Access channel, on channel 36 on cable, and then I think it then goes over to AT&T Uverse at some point.
Yeah.
And so so this one's a little bit more. We got 2 hours to be expansive and talk. Well, that show is literally 28 minutes, but it's really 22 minutes.
Really?
22-minute segment, because everything else is the lead in, and it's TV, so it's different and it's live.
Oh yeah.
And so
Getting ready for the big time.
we get ready for the big time.
Much success to y'all.
Oh, thank
This
you.
is fabulous.
Thank
Please
you.
invite all the folks we just talked about on
For
the
sure.
program.
For sure. We'll do. We'll
We
do.
will.
Down here, because this is a great vehicle to
Yes.
get the word out.
Right.
We really want to get those small businesses ready, and so they can go after these opportunities that we just talked about.
And we want our community to be able to, leaders to come in and talk about what they're doing, because this is what this access is for, is to be able to talk and people know beforehand what's going on in our community, so they can be better prepared.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
So thanks again
We are
to
vehicles.
Miss Angela Gibson Shaw,
Very good, Gilbert. Thank you.
president of GLAC, and we really, really enjoyed her on the show. She's a strategic partner, so she's welcome here anytime she
you
wants.
want
Thank
to
you.
come.
So
Yes.
just let us know.
You're going to be
We'll have you on the
surprised
show.
who I show when they tell me, "Oh, I'm going to be on the Business Zone."
That's-
I'm going to meet them.
Be like a Victor Parker. Hey, can I come every week? Can I be your only guest?
So we'll go ahead and take a break right now, and we'll come right back with our
Yep.
next guest on the
That's
show.
right.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Do you have the video with the Christmas ball?
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business-ready, contract-ready, and bank loan-ready. It also provides back-office operations solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
With
Crystal?
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Just had a wonderful guest on our show. And we're going to have another wonderful guest. Crystal, who do we have in our studio today?
We have royalty in the house right now, boy. We have just it was a great interview with Angela. We have Mr. Walter R. Tucker III, but I believe you're a reverend now, right? Pastor. So Pastor Tucker is here, and we're going to be talking to him about his rise, his fall, and now his rise again. Mr. Tucker comes from a family of politicians. Yes. And he as well was the L.A. deputy.
I was a deputy DA.
DA for the city of Los Angeles.
For L.A. County.
L.A. County. And then he was the mayor of Compton. And then from there, he went to Congress.
That's correct.
And then he's going to tell you what happened after that. And so we're really happy to have you here. Your father was the mayor of Compton, right?
That's correct.
And so you grew up in a political family.
That's correct.
Okay, so welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you.
Angela, so glad to be here, and been sitting in the studio audience and listening to Angela, and wow, y'all had just a wonderful show with her.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Very informative.
Welcome to the Business Zone.
Very stimulating. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's what we want the Business Zone to be, stimulating and informative for our community.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about who Reverend Tucker is.
Well, as Crystal was saying, I am the son of the former mayor of Compton, Walter R. Tucker II, who was also a dentist, so he was a businessman.
Okay.
In fact, my father and his brothers, two brothers, they started the first medical offices in Watts after the Watts riots, right on 103rd. The Tucker brothers, way before the Watts Health Foundation was what it is today.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, they were the one-stop shop, and it was a multi-level building with an elevator in 1966.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Okay.
They came from Oklahoma. They all graduated from Meharry.
Okay.
And they came out here and they started their shop. They opened, put their shop up, and they had people, runners, people picking up people in the station wagons, bringing them to on the first floor there was a pharmacy, and my Uncle Booker, who was an oral surgeon. On the second floor was my father, who was a dentist. On the third floor was my other uncle, Edward Tucker, who, by the way, was the first African-American to play sports at Stanford, the first athlete at Stanford University, and he was an OBGYN on the third floor.
Oh, my
gosh. So
gosh.
they had all this going on, and I grew up in that environment of seeing black people, black men being entrepreneurial.
That's
Okay.
great.
And that was my background. So,
Yeah.
so kind of like it. So I was feeling
when
what you
you
were
grow
saying,
up in it,
Crystal.
you already know where you're about to go with it.
Right. So deep within the recesses of my mind, I always felt that I should be a business owner. And so when you mentioned that I was a deputy district attorney after passing the California bar back in the early 80s, I stayed with the DA's office for a bit, but when I left the DA's office, I opened up my own practice in Compton.
Okay.
Yes, right on Compton Boulevard. And so that was my first stint, 1986, as a business owner.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
Wow,
That is
wow!
amazing.
It's really cool when you come from entrepreneurs.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a whole different. You think differently.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. You
Yes.
think really without limits.
Right.
Because you're not, and then if you do work within the confines of a corporation, for me, I felt caged.
Right.
I was like, okay, y'all not even letting me think because you got to think fast. You got to pivot quick as an entrepreneur, and that's what my family did.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of quick points on that. First of all, one of the things that I always talk about as a pastor, and again, I'm going to get into this a little later about the role of a pastor and an entrepreneur and how that all plays in this whole scope, is that I always talk about the fact that more is caught than taught. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't teach, because I'm a pastor teacher. But what I'm saying is that, like you said, you grew up in an environment where you saw African Americans being business owners and being entrepreneurs, just like this generation growing up right now. Whereas we used to say, wow, I hope maybe I might see a black president in my lifetime. We used to say things like that just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Just a few years
Now we've
ago.
got a whole generation that's grown up. That's not even an issue. That's not but because they have seen it.
Right.
And when you can see something,
Right.
it just creates
See more
reality.
feasible.
That's
Yeah.
right. So a lot is caught. And the second thing I wanted to say about that is that in growing up and seeing my father and his brothers, have their own business, etc., my mind always went to this thing of, and you were talking about it earlier, the trade-off. I have this quote that I say, life is a trade-off. You gain some things at the expense of others. And when you were talking about the pros and cons of working in traditional corporate America versus being, your own boss, it is a trade-off.
Yeah.
It is.
Some people, maybe it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And some people say, hey, you know what, I'd rather work this 9 to 5. Like you said, my mind's at rest. I don't have to think about all these other things.
Yeah.
But then when you think about being in ownership and being in control, yes, you're thinking 24/7, but you're also given all these wonderful creative possibilities.
Right,
Like you said, you can think beyond limits. You can design beyond limitations, and there's a gratification that comes that you can't get working for someone else. So that's what motivated me. That's what motivated me not only when I was a lawyer, but it motivated me after politics, and I became a minister. And as a pastor, I started out working for a lot of other organizations, other ministries. I worked for Dr. Price. I worked for Crenshaw Christian Center.
Okay.
I oversaw all their helps ministries for a couple of years. I worked for Chuck Colson's ministry, which is a worldwide ministry and prison ministry. I worked for another ministry called From the Heart Church Ministries, another worldwide ministry. But deep again in the center of my heart, I said, now when the time is right, I've got to start my own.
You got to do that
5 years ago,
entrepreneurship.
5 years ago, I started Truth and Love Christian Church, where we teach the truth and show the love.
That's
Okay.
right.
We're based in Carson, California, and of course with the internet and online and all these things, we're literally a worldwide ministry because, I teach on Facebook Live and I'm broadcasting all around the world and using the technology that's here.
Right.
And we've got some churches that we oversee in Africa. And so,
Oh, wow, fantastic.
within 5 years. So again, starting my own business, that's a profit or not for profit business, but it's nonetheless it's a business, and we run it like a business.
And we actually, and that's a great comment, because a lot of our churches don't run like businesses, and they need to run like businesses in order to be able to do their outreach programs. They need to be able to generate other forms of revenue so that they then can serve their people. But generally, they're running on very lean budgets, because it's all coming from the tithing plate, and then that's got to pay for the operation of the church itself. So more of them need to be thinking like entrepreneurs.
They should.
You should be thinking community-minded.
Community-minded.
And, of course, I'm kind of a unique item, because, again, I was the mayor of Compton. I was the congressman for Compton and Carson, Long Beach, Watts, Wilmington area. And so GLAC, RBD, again, this is not my first rodeo.
It's all part of the community. So as the congressman, so the White House, the Washington is a chaotic place right now.
Yes.
But from a political standpoint, where it relates to business, how do we, as the business community, access into the political world to make sure that someone is advocating for our small businesses?
Yes. Well, let me deal with that on a couple of levels. First of all, I want to take a step back and kind of connect to it through something you were talking about earlier. And I really thought it was a theme that kept recurring, and I appreciate it, because, again, this is how my spirituality connects with my secularity, if you will. And that is that I have a saying, and that is, faith means I go first. And that connects with what you were talking about when you talked about readiness.
Yes.
When opportunity knocks, you can't get ready. You have to be ready.
You have to be ready.
Right. You can't be wait a minute, give me a minute. I got to get ready.
In fact, that gives me a perfect segue into this book that I have out, From Compton to Congress, His Grace for My Race, which is a book that I worked on for 17 years, and it's now out. It's on Amazon, and of course, we're selling it through the publishing company that I started, which is called Raymar Publishing Company. My mother is my co-author, and we started this publishing company and decided to, again, publish it ourselves and put it out. But my point is this, that when my father, who was the mayor of Compton, unexpectedly died in office. He was in his third term of office, and he died of cancer. When we found out he had cancer, it was early in 1990, but then he died that year. And that was not something that we expected. And really, at the time that this happened, I was a lawyer. As I said, I had my own office, my own business, and I didn't have a political career as such. But when this happened, I was prepared. I was a Georgetown Law School trained lawyer. I had passed the bar, and had my practice going, and I had the political experience of having been his campaign manager. So I knew how the political machine worked. And it fell upon me to run for his seat. Right. In fact, one of his great confidants and friends, the city treasurer, rest his soul, Wes Sanders, came to me and said, "Hey, Junior, you got to run for Dad's seat. You just got to do it." And all this is in the book, right? That's why the story just had to be told. It was such a dramatic story. But the point is, I couldn't get ready. I had to be ready. Yeah. And so when you're talking about politics and how we can maximize political potential, we have to be, as you have been talking about, you and Gilbert have been talking about today, we have to be very well informed.
That's true.
We have to stay informed.
Yes.
We have to be well read. We have to be well informed. We have to be networking.
That's right.
And we have to be ready because anything could happen, whether it is you being drafted into office. My dad used to say, the man doesn't seek the office seeks the man. And the office sought me. Right. Or whether it is you being drafted into procurement and contracts, as you're talking about.
Yes.
In fact, one of the things my dad told me years and years ago, he said, son, get that law degree, because that law degree is going to open up all kind of doors for you. So it's the same thing when you talk about things like registration, business plan. Being ready is going to open up all kinds. That's where, see, this is where faith and practicality come together.
Right.
When you're a person of faith, you don't have to know when God's going to do it, how God's going to do it. You just got to be in position for Him to do it. You got to get yourself in position, because you don't know who He's going to use.
That's true.
Right, exactly. And so you took you ran for your father's seat, and the same thing happened for Congress, right? You took Mervyn Dineley's seat, right?
That's exactly right.
Right, because was he ill or?
Well, what happened with that?
Oh, he retired?
My father's seat was an unexpired term.
Okay.
And so I ran for that seat against 3 sitting council people.
Wow.
In a special election, and won, and became the youngest mayor in Compton's 103-year history at age 33.
That is great.
And then a year later, Congressman Mervyn Dineley, who was just a living legend. I mean, he is still, history shows us, the only black lieutenant governor we've ever had in the state. He served in the assembly. He was a 12-year congressman, 6-term congressman. And he decided to retire, and so he was endorsing his daughter to run. It just so happened that I was more ready than she was,
right?
And because I perceived that, no ego tripping, just being objective. I mean, she was at the time a school board member, and I was the mayor of the city. Yeah. And I said, well, tete to tete on credentials, I've got it. And if I don't run now, if not now, then when?
Right.
So I decided to do it, and I won.
Yeah.
But that's what happened. Merv Dineley resigned at that time, and then I ran.
Oh, okay. Okay. So 2 times you had to be ready.
Right. That's ready.
And then there was a third part in there. So so you were 35?
I was 35.
35. So that's pretty young to be thrown in that pool, right?
Not only pretty young, but actually to date, I'm still the youngest African American to ever to go to Congress from California.
Wow.
So what was that experience?
Oh, it was a wild ride. It was really something. And, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's good because it's a very laudable and thankful accomplishment. It's bad because somebody hasn't broken that record. It's bad because we have not had any other, especially any other. Do you realize that since I was an African American congressman and I left in 1996, we haven't had another African American male to represent us in Congress through the whole state of California?
Wow. So then that question is, what do we need to do to prepare or start preparing our young people? We got some young stars coming out of college, and lawyers and just political science majors. What do we need to do to start preparing them? Because we need to be represented, because Maxine Waters, all of these individuals, she's 79.
Yeah, she's up there.
I mean, everyone that's representing the state of California, or even everyone that's in Congress, are pretty much older in their...
So we've got to, and that's why I wrote this book. Because this book is a vehicle for me to now move out in a different type of campaign.
Okay.
And when people see me with this book and they see the excitement and the buzz and everything, they see all these people from different news media coming out and they say, wow, are you running for office again? I'm like, I'm running, but I'm not running for office. I'm running for a cause.
Yes.
I'm running on a campaign of empowerment.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's exactly what you just said. Somebody's got to do this. And I'm not saying that Maxine and others are not. I'm just saying it's my time now to come out and to do this.
Yeah.
As you said, it's about a rise, a fall, and a rise again. And in 1995, I was convicted of taking bribes, and I had to go to prison. And I was in prison for 18 months.
Wow.
And to be honest with you, the same thing that they try to do to every black male within our system, in other words, not just incarcerate you, but literally bury you and pronounce you dead and never see from you or hear from you again.
Right.
But God, come on somebody. I said, but God raised me up, sustained me all this time. As I said, I started my own ministry, and now God has raised me for such a time as this so that I could reach out and help as many people as I can. Because some of the things you talked about, not only do you have to be financially, administratively prepared, you also have to be morally prepared. You have to. You. It's just like what you were talking about the Facebook pages and people checking your Facebook page. Well, not only are people going to check your Facebook pages, but you need to check your life. You need to get your. I mean, look at what is going on right now. You asked about Washington. Look what's going on in Washington. We're living in a time. You have dominoes falling right now, and it's not about Republican or Democrat. You have people, and people ask the question, why would somebody do this? I was on Facebook, and a lady asked the question. She said, why would somebody pull down their pants and show their genitals to somebody that they don't even know, or this, that, and the other? Well, you realize that as the old saying goes, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. You get into these positions, and that power, whether you're talking about politics or whether you're talking about being an anchorman on NBC News, that kind of power can go to your head. So what I'm talking about is reaching out to the next generation of young men and young women and trying to help them to understand that this thing, just like the church can't just be about the spiritual part of the person. It's got to minister to the whole man. We've got to minister. Come on, can I get an amen, somebody?
Amen.
We've got to minister to the whole person and prepare the whole person. I love what you all are doing. I love what Small Biz Pro is doing.
Thank you.
And the other component is you have to have people like me who can come in and who can let them know. Now, learn from my successes and learn from my failures too. The book is a cautionary tale because within the book, what you have to understand, within this book, From Compton to Congress, His Grace for My Race, is the revelation of people say, well, that's a conspiracy theory. Well, I got news for you. This book will show you it's not conspiracy theory. It's conspiracy reality. There is an agenda against black people and especially against black young people who are well able and capable of leading and being dynamic and making a change in their communities. And that was what happened to me. I mean, there was an agenda before I even got in office. And what I'm saying to you is, once this happened to me, I started doing some research. And in the research, I began to understand the very foundations and underpinnings of the FBI, the kind of culture that's there. And it's rooted in a philosophy, it's called Frumenschens, that black people are basically animals. That's the philosophy and culture that the FBI was built on. So you can imagine if that's how the FBI was built, then you look at police departments and the criminal justice system all the way along the line. In other words, the things that we as black people thought and assumed and suspected all the while, there's statistical, real information that corroborates it.
And it's interesting that you said that because two things. Yesterday I posted a post on Facebook on does power change how a man interacts with a woman when it becomes to sexual harassment, and because you're trying to understand how all of this is going on. And I also posted on Facebook that there's not a woman alive and there's not a man alive that at some point or another has said something that's inappropriately sexually to a woman. And what is how you dealt with it, right? So, and where your confidence is in order to say, hey, wait a minute, you've crossed the line, right? And the same thing with, and that is taught from our parents, you know, because if you feel confident in yourself, you feel like you can stand up and say that and to back off. And I know my mother told me there ain't a job alive, there ain't a job on this planet that you should compromise your soul for in order to be in that job. Just walk away from it. Right. So a lot of this is because a lot of folks didn't do that, right? And I think, and then the second thing is, I think is, we're in this country right now, in this world right now, we're morally bankrupt.
That's right.
We have pushed the boundaries way out there where we're even in business, where's the ethics in business? Do you do business this way? Do you do business this way? Right. How do you want to be treated? So therefore, that's how you treat others, right?
Now we're there. See, we're talking about exactly what I wanted to talk about. If something's not right, do you have the integrity and the values to walk away from
That's
it?
Right. That's
If your character is, as one definition says, is who you are when no one's looking. Well, character is who you are because God is looking. Yeah. In other words, this guy, the newscaster, they said he had a button. And yes, we could lock the room. He could lock the door on you. Literally put you in prison.
That's a morally corrupt individual, right? Because you got a pre-plan.
Right. But until this was known about him, he was considered to be one of the most successful broadcasters alive, right? He did the Olympics. He did all this other stuff. Right. So my question is, how do we define success?
Wow.
Exactly.
You see, so there may be some situations or some deals that are not morally correct, and you might have to walk away from them. Yeah. But if we don't talk about these things, if we don't train these things, just the same way that you all are training people on, in certain aspects of this, that training's got to be, again, holistic, so that I preached a message recently, and it was entitled, having solid faith before the storm. See, when you're in a storm, you can't batten down the hatches.
No.
You notice when they get ready to have the storms, they tell people, now the storm is coming in Florida. Put the board your windows up and get out. You can't board your windows up in a storm. Listen, if you're in a hotel room with a woman and she takes off her clothes, you can't decide right then. Now, what's my philosophy on this? If you haven't figured out before then, you hit. You see, so we have to address a lot of, like you said, you have to address some issues of what is appropriate or inappropriate conversation with someone. Should I be meeting with this person? If I'm doing business, shouldn't I meet with them during business hours, or should I be saying, well, let's come to my house after work, and you're putting yourself in a situation that's just not. It's a compromising situation.
At some point, so then you go to run for office, and somebody gonna pull, or you go to get into a platform where people see you every day.
And here's the key: it takes. I don't care who you are, black, white, Martian, or American. It takes a long time to build up a reputation and to build up a business and to build up success, but it takes a minute to knock it down.
Right?
All it takes is one little thing, boom. All them years of hard work.
1 second.
That's right.
1 second.
And even when, and this one is very indicative, Al Franken. Now, Al Franken has written 4 or 5 books, and the man has been very open about who he is. And, I mean, he talks about his partners dying with cocaine overdose. He talks about doing all that. So I've read his books, and he also was a comedian, right?
Yeah.
So when there's 2 sides to this. Yes, all the women that are Me Too, we definitely respect that. But as well as we also know that women can be very devious when they want to be. Yeah. And that some of what happened with him was he was set up. Yeah. And the reason he was set up, and I always tell people to look at what's going on. He had just, in a hearing, just read sessions just raked him over the coals. Yeah. And then 2 days later, there's a sexual harassment case against him. Like, wait a minute, you have to think.
Yeah. What this goes back, the whole point to the book is that, the whole single issue in the trial that I went through in this book, From Compton to Congress, was the issue of entrapment.
Okay.
of being set up. And so really what I'm saying is that I'm trying to give the clarion call to people out there that says, look, there are forces out there. It could be one individual, or it could be a whole group of people. Yeah. And they have an agenda against you. They're trying to set you up. So what I'm saying, like the old folks used to say, fool me once, shame on you. Right. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yes. Right, exactly.
So at what point do you have to now take responsibility and say, I know that there are some bad police officers out there. Yes. But that doesn't mean that gives me a right to get antagonistic and to escalate the thing so that I can't make it home tonight.
Exactly.
I know that there are some maybe women out there that, groupies and this, that, and the other, and they're trying to do this, trying to do that. But I'm responsible for what I do. I can't control what they're trying to do. Exactly. So what I'm saying is, yes, there are people out there to set us up. There are people out there. Listen, again, I'm a pastor, so I deal with, ultimately, I deal with the spiritual behind everything. We have a spiritual enemy. His name is Satan. And he works through a lot of people and a lot of situations. And we have to be wise enough to it's like tripwire. You have to be wise enough to see, who's coming and how they coming and what they coming to do.
Yes, exactly.
And listen, it's like someone showed me recently about the slavery in Africa right now. Right now. Where is this? In Libya? Right now.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, don't think it's just black and white.
Oh, no.
It could be somebody coming with the same skin color and whatever, but they're coming with a bad agenda, and you got to be wise enough to say, now, wait a minute. I see through this. I see what's happening.
And if you look at all of it right now, think about it. Everything is out in the open. If you did something behind the scenes, it's all being revealed to us, right? And God is letting you know what's going on. Now it's up to us to kind of connect that stuff, right? But you can see what happens in that political world about the setups. You can see that a person could be entrapped. And also, I read today on the internet, they've been talking about net neutrality, but also I saw that here in California, I believe, the FCC has voted to limit internet access to the poor.
Wow.
So... And why would they do that? Because they don't want you to get information, right? We see what's going on because you do something now, 10 seconds later, it's on the internet. So if we want to keep our lower income, our marginal citizens unaware, then we take...
That's the way to do it.
They got a phone. They may not have a TV. They may not have cable. But if we take this and we take the internet away from them... Now, they won't know what's going on. So whatever you throw at them, they're going to buy. So that's why we, especially as African Americans, have to be very much, we got to expand our knowledge. We got to think beyond our four corners that we live in, because there are literally people that are trying to get rid of, actually put us back in slavery.
Absolutely.
The real deal.
Well, let's take it all the way now. Let's take it all the way now. Make America great again. Come on now.
Exactly.
That was a dog whistle. So we know what that was all. We know what that was all about.
That was all about that free labor, right?
Calling all racists, calling all right wingers, calling everybody that's trying to take us back.
Right.
To the slave blocks. That's what that was about. That was cold. So, but let me get to this. I think this is a very important point. You just talked about it. You were talking about a lapse or a lack or bondage of knowledge. And one of the things I really wanted to talk about is that I think that there is a wonderful potential here for what you do and what a lot of African American pastors do. Now, I'm going to speak for myself. I have a predominantly African American membership or a congregation. And I'll tell you right now, because you were talking about, the recycling of the black dollar, and you were talking about 6 hours. And one of the things that we really do is make everybody conscious of the business people in the congregation, and we
excellent.
hold bazaars, and then we bring from the outside also. But we make sure that throughout the year we support each other. We recycle those dollars. It's very, very important. And so at the end of the day, I believe it really does come down to education and consciousness. Because really, when you stop and think about it, going back again to slavery, the division, the mistrust, the jealousy, we know this to be true with the experiments with the white doll and the black doll and the little girl. So
brown eye, blue eye.
Yeah, I like that doll. It's the white doll that I like.
Right, exactly.
These are some deep things that are down in our minds,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So like you said, there's all kind of products, name brands, and all these other kinds of things. But it takes, in the scripture, it says, faith comes by hearing.
Right.
It takes a while for people to hear things over and over before you can have a true brainwashing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't mean brainwashing in the negative sense. I mean in the positive sense, where their brain is washed,
Right.
cleansed, rinsed from a lot of old wrong thinking
Right.
that, no, I have to spend my money outside of my community. I have to give my money to, people that don't know me, don't respect me, don't, you know what I'm saying, won't give a loan to me. And so, yes, pastors, and I'm in networking with a lot of pastors like myself, we're constantly looking to be very community-minded, very recycling our dollars minded, very entrepreneurial minded, and to bring in, because the same way that you're having your workshops and you're going to Sacramento and you're doing what you're doing and you're having Black and you have this show and you're getting the word out there, don't ever undervalue and discount the value of working with the faith community. Because working with that faith community and being able to come in and talk with the pastors, can we come in and talk to some of your members? Can we have a workshop? Can we do this and do that? Because this is where, again, based on our tradition, we will congregate every week as African American people, and not only can we hear about spirituality, but we need to hear about economic empowerment. We need to hear about financial empowerment. So I think that's a great opportunity.
And definitely we'll take you up on it. And that's something that does need to happen, because that is a place that we congregate. I was a member of First AME Church when Reverend Murray was pastoring, and I grew up in that church. Actually,
Mark Whitlock is a very good friend of mine.
Right. So that's the whole premise. I mean, my first entrepreneurial program that I went to that was formalized came through FAME, and we went over to SC, and I went through classes and workshops and got my whatever.
Go ahead.
But that's part of the outreach, and more of our churches need to be, because that's where when I hear pastors saying I can't get people in the pews, you could if you were bringing other things to the church. That because really thinking, if we got 15, 16, 20,000 people sitting in the church, then we should not have hungry. We should not have homeless people within our own congregations, because that should be our primary purpose, is to make sure that our congregations are whole, not just spiritually. For them to pay you tithes, they got to be making money somewhere. Come on. So they need to have a job, or you need to be teaching them how to run their own businesses, right? And then those are the businesses that you're doing business with.
I want every member to succeed in the name of Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
That is what,
Amen.
Who was it? Reverend Ike.
Yeah.
He was all about it. I don't want you broke, because if you broke, I'm broke. So I'm going to help you go out and get your Mercedes.
He's right about that. Let me give you some information. Let me give you some empowerment.
And I didn't, when I was younger, my mom and them listened to Reverend Ike and didn't really know anything about Reverend Ike until I belonged to a spiritual group, and every morning we would listen to video tapes and so forth, and we'd come together for about 2 hours on a call at 7 in the morning. And Reverend Ike was a favorite of many of the practitioners that were on the call. And when I got listeners like, okay, Reverend Ike was about prosperity, because he felt that if you were making money, I'm making some money.
Well, I have a teaching that I've dubbed true prosperity, And what true prosperity is true priorities. It does not discount material prosperity. It just says that spiritual prosperity is first.
Yeah.
Now see, when you're right with God, then your soul is blessed. In other words, you got peace, you got joy. And the Bible says, beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. That means that when your mind is at peace, your body's going to be in health.
Right.
Now, if your mind is right and your body's right, well, now you got a mind and a body that can go out and get you some money.
Right.
I mean, in other words, you can go, you can think right, you can work right. And you can have a materially prosperous life. In fact, when your mind is clear and you hear from the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit will give you, the Bible says, witty inventions.
Yeah,
He'll
right.
give you witty inventions.
Right on down.
He'll
All
give
your
you supernatural direction. And then what do? I mean, just look at the Bible. Look at all the people in the Bible, like Joseph. Joseph was a man, great example, who, see what I'm saying? He didn't come to his philosophy in the moment of temptation. He already had it. When that woman, he had every opportunity to give himself to that woman. Right. Like you said, she was targeting him. Potiphar's wife was targeting him, and nobody else was around. And she wanted him. In fact, she wanted him so bad she was ripping his clothes off. This was way before the what's the name dancers, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? It was way before them guys. Yeah. But she was ripping his clothes off, and he ran away and fled away and said, "Now here's an interesting thing. He didn't just say, I can't do this to my boss. He said, I can't do this to my God."
That's right.
There was a understanding that God will see me do this and it will not be good.
Right.
So he said, I can't go out like that. I can't do God like that. And so he didn't. And he ended up in prison as a result of it.
Wow.
But God.
Yeah.
Now, when God takes him out of prison, but see, he ended up in prison. He was in prison, but prison wasn't in him.
Right.
And see, a lot of people think that the only prison is a physical prison, and that's what I'm saying. He was in a physical prison, but spiritually and mentally he was free. So that when God saw the opportunity for him to interpret the dream, he interprets the dream of Pharaoh, he comes on out, and what happens? He is raised to the top position. Because why? Because in a nation that was getting ready to be bankrupt, like you just talked about, he had the answer.
That's right.
And when you have something that is precious and indispensable, you always go to the head of the class. You always go to the top.
And sometimes you need that journey. Sometimes,
oh, come on now.
Sometimes when you're going down and you're down that golden road, right?
That's my book.
But there's some lessons that you're not learning. So sometimes that journey into that other place helps you come back to the place that he wanted you to be in the first place.
Come on, girl. Preach it.
So I'm also the great granddaughter.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's coming out. See, I'm bringing it out. I'm pulling it out of you now.
So, and my aunt's a minister as well.
All right, Kristen.
So, but with that journey, we can't change who we are unless we metamorphose into through pain. It's like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly, right?
That's right.
That's a painful process.
That's right.
So for you to be the great person that he designed for you, and for you to even know who you're supposed to be,
got to go through some things.
Sometimes you have to go through some things. So this journey could have been that. So where you are,
was that.
and if you can use that journey to rise up some young men and women who can now represent our community as leaders, because that's a big thing that we talk about is our community doesn't have leaders.
That's right.
Right.
And that's you are right on what I'm talking about. Yeah. The Bible says, and my favorite scripture in life is that, and we know that all things work together for the good to those that love God and to those who are called according to his purpose. In other words, prison for me was the worst experience of my life. It was a terrifying thing, but it made me the person I am today. And prison made Joseph the person he ended up becoming too. And like you said, what I really want people to understand is this whole concept of rise and fall and rise again. There's not a person alive that doesn't fall. I mean, when you first start to walk, you're going to fall. Come on now. You're going to fall. You're
going to get burnt because you're going to touch something hot.
Come on, Gilbert.
And you're going to fall a few times before
yes, sir.
you get it right.
You get it right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so what I'm saying is like what Chris was saying, I want people, especially these young leaders, potential leaders, to understand you're going to make some mistakes, and there's some things out there, and you'll make some bad decisions.
Yeah.
But you need to keep your eye on the prize,
That's
and
right.
like you said, you need to understand those things that don't kill you make you stronger.
That's right.
And God will take them and use them. You know, there's a philosophy that I have, and it's that things don't happen to you; they happen for you.
Right, exactly.
These things are happening for you. In fact, all you got to do is do a little study on business people. All the successful business people, they all went through failures.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They all did.
Half of them lived in cars.
Yeah,
They've
come
been
on.
homeless,
They
they've
all
been
did.
poor,
Oh, yeah.
They've been carless. They've been everything. They've lived in the
You
streets.
got
before they
to
became-
understand that so that you won't be so hard on yourself,
Right.
and so you won't be so down on yourself,
Right. Yeah.
and you won't be depressed and hopeless and defeated and thinking, oh, look at this, woe is me. Hey, Bill Gates, from Bill Gates to Michael Jordan, to Tyler Perry, all of them. Michael Jordan didn't make his varsity high school basketball team when he was a sophomore.
Oh, if you do
Can
your
you believe
research,
that?
there's probably no multi-billion-dollar, with the exception of the Looney Tooney in Washington, that have not had some trials and tribulations before they reached the glory.
And it became fuel.
We could go over this, for a long time because there's so much value and information in this, but our time is up. So
Tell them the church.
Pastor, I really want to thank you.
Man.
Tell us a little bit about where to locate you and reach you.
Yes,
and where to locate you.
You can get the book From Compton to Congress on Amazon, but you can also contact me at Truth and Love Christian Church, which is located in Carson, California. And like what you all said, I've got a website, I've got a fan page, I've got all of that. And so all you have to do is go online and just type in Walter Tucker or Truth and Love Christian Church. And the church has a business page. I have a business page. I have a personal page. But we're all online. And I really encourage you to get a copy of this book. I'll tell you, if I can be honest with you, I believe that this book is the most important autobiography, especially for African Americans in the last 50 years. And I say that because as a young boy, I loved to read African American autobiographies. And the last great one I read was Malcolm X. And I really believe that every black household should have a copy of this book.
Okay.
Excellent.
So, guys, what an incredible day we
This
have
is
had
great.
today.
This has been an excellent show.
So we're at the top of our hour.
We're
And
right
5 o'clock.
there.
That 2 hours always go by so quickly.
I know.
Tune in next Friday. We have 2 more amazing guests. And have a great week and be safe. And we are out.
We're out.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.